All rise, football fans, as the Welt Rheaume Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welt Rheaume has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
How you doing, my brother? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. You got an early workout in before the show this Friday, ready for the weekend after this. So life is good.
Life is good. I hear that you think Carlos Washington is the lead dog to become the starting running back for the Miami Dolphins and unseat Devon Achane. Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why you pick up a guy like Carlos Washington after you sign Devon Achane to a big-time 4-year contract extension with $32 million guaranteed, is to go ahead and take the reins of the running back room.
By the way, you nailed it. When we spoke on Wednesday, I thought maybe they're waiting till June 1st for the cash, and you go, no, I think they still have the cash. So they must have been crossing T's and dotting I's or something why this thing got delayed a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure there's always just like little minutia in different contracts before you put pen to paper. But clearly they had agreed to the terms of the main portion of it, of the 4 years, the 64 to 68 million, and then the 32 guaranteed. So I guess once that was in place, and you could say, hey, we're locked in, we're going to do this. And then there was just, all this, the little contractual, the fine print in the contract, different things that come into play before you want to officially sign.
Explain to people that they don't have to tell you anything about injuries at this point. So explain that rule to folks out there, just in case, because we're assuming Austin Jackson, we're assuming with Devon Achane. Well, I mean, they kind of gave it away themselves, but overall, the rule right now when it comes to injuries.
Yeah, offseason, there is no injury report. There is no requirement to even speak on it for the head coach when he does his OTA interviews or any of the players. They don't have to. So that's not league mandated. So, I mean, it's really just on them if they are willing to reveal in an interview setting. Oftentimes when a player isn't participating, like Devon Achane wasn't the first week, and he was just out there, participated in team stretch, did some workouts on the side while the rest of the team was along with other players who are rehabbing different offseason injuries like they do on the side. But he wasn't made available for this OTA interview. It's not an open locker room either where you can't just go up to players and ask them whatever. So those are just offseason rules. So it's the difference in the regular season. I think a lot of it really for the league comes down to the gambling aspect. So they want the books to have clarity on who's available, what different players' status is going into the game. So that's why you get your Friday questionable, doubtful, out already, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you're getting these updates on whether someone was limited, was a non-participant in practice. So I think a lot of that just has to do one, so that there's clarity on both from team to team, so that they know who's available on the opponent and who's not. And then, there's an honesty aspect to it. If you get caught kind of fudging your injury report, you could get in trouble with the league. And then, obviously there's the gambling aspect, which plays a role in it as well, with how much is going on there.
Would be surprised. You guys get access one day next week, right? What day is it?
Yeah, Wednesday.
Wouldn't be surprised if Achane's just hanging out, practicing a little, even with the red jersey, just for the hell, even though there's no contact anyway, so it doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? But I just wouldn't be surprised if he's on the field, even doing light workouts next week. Yeah,
I mean, there's no big thing to gain from it. He's done OTAs before. I mean, he's been a stud since week 3 of his rookie year, where he had 4 touchdowns and burst onto the scene. So That's why you gave him this contract extension, because he's already proven it. So, yes, you need to stay in shape in the offseason and keep everything sharp, but you trust that Devon Achane will have all that. You want him by the season, by the time the real games are played. You don't need him in OTAs and all that, although it's good that he's around.
Yes and no, because it's a new system. You're doing some things. You're not going to do everything that was the same before. So now you're kind of changing some things up. You do want to kind of start running the plays that they're running now and those kind of things, just to get the mental reps in and that kind of stuff. I'm with you. He doesn't need much wear and tear or anything like that at all. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like what's going on with Minter in Baltimore. You got a new coach, a new system in there. You kind of want to have everybody there, because at the beginning, everybody wants to run those, because that's all this is now, is a lot of mental work, running these mental plays. So by the time you get to training camp, it's like, yo, we ran this like 42 times in mini camps. Let's go. You got to know this play by now. That's what this is all about at this point.
And even then, it's still an offense that's going to be very similar. Bobby Slowick was still on Mike McDaniel's staff last year, got promoted to offensive coordinator. He has the keys to the offense. This is the offense that Jeff Hafley wanted for his team as he took the reins. So it comes off the same coaching tree, Shanahan coaching tree. So, the Slowicks, like McDaniel, like Shanahan, like McVay, like LaFleur, which is where Hafley just came from in Green Bay. So all of them part of the same coaching tree. So have a lot of the same concepts in mind. So it won't be too much different for HN. It's still going to be in the run game, a lot of the outside zone where he excels in, and a big reason why for John Eric Sullivan, Devon Achane is an ideal, just perfect running back to slide right in to the type of offense that the Dolphins will be running. But then, there will be certainly Bobby Slowick will have his own intricacies and his own plays that he wants to run, where, Devon can get into the playbook, maybe do things at walk through speed. And then, come training camp, or maybe if he's fine by mini camp, whatever, he wants to get a little bit of reps, you could just slow play it as far as getting him in to like
I doubt Slowick will have as much motion as McDaniel wants to have. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think anyone's gonna have as much motion as McDaniel.
And that's why you make a lot of mistakes, because you know what I'm saying? And this is a young offense, and this is a new offense. So you've got to kind of get everybody in sync. That's the only reason why I think he can be out there, is only for the mental reps of, lightly running through stuff. It's not like you're taking any hits or anything. So it's not really any kind of, crazy wear and tear. But I'm just saying, I would imagine that he'll be taking the field soon, because he's got his $32 million guaranteed now,
Yeah. Whatever he's dealing with, you don't have to baby it so much anymore. You still want to an extent, but I know what you're saying, that a lot of these minor injury deals, they have a sudden way of like a magic wand just healing once a player gets his contract extension. So we'll see if that's the case next week, or if the Dolphins release video. I know they just had an OTA session yesterday that was closed. If there's like video that comes out and you see Achane like running a little bit with the ball, then we'll know.
Right. Exactly. If they show that, then definitely. No, he's back or something like that. They'll do something like that, obviously, since they just signed him to the contract. Do we know anything about the Austin Jackson injury at all?
No, I mean, just that he was present but not participating with the team as far as like the team offensive line drills. So we saw him during stretch, accounted for him, and then when the offensive line lined up, even at a walkthrough pace, it was not Austin Jackson at right tackle, nor anywhere else on the offensive line, to be clear. So, and then later they were outside, and then he went inside. So you imagine that he did probably some rehab work inside that, wasn't for our eyes to see as the media was watching on the outdoor fields. So, that was the case with Austin Jackson. I mean, healthy enough to at least be out there. He wasn't like in any boot or I can't remember if I saw even a sleeve on any right or left leg or arm. So, but that's certainly a question. Probably Wednesday morning of next week, we'll get that question into Jeff Hafley, find some clarity, and then see if he's doing more of that OTA session and et cetera.
Yeah, no, definitely. And see if the plan is really to keep this guy on the left side. Okay, so this is okay. Not only do you got to ask him about, okay, so wait a minute. If you have an injury to Austin Jackson on the right side, then Keon Smith was practicing on the right side, on the right tackle. Is he your backup right tackle? Is he your swing tackle? Is it a battle between him and Heck and everybody else for swing tackle? Is Kaden part of it or he's not? And then if he says he's not, then you got to ask him. So if you're going to keep him on the left, is he a future left tackle and you're moving Patrick Paul to right tackle? Because Jackson's future looks like it's a 1-year thing the way you guys handled it this offseason by paying him off. It looks like you're going to dispatch him at the end of the year. Not, you can't put that in the question, but it's kind of odd that Austin Jackson's future doesn't necessarily look like it's here in Miami, and you're going to have a hole on the right side. And he said, we're going to keep him on the left. That's odd. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know.
Yeah. These are all valid questions that we'll want answered. And I'll tell you, Big O, once they're asked, the immediate cop-out is, well, it's way too early for all of that. Yeah, you know what the answer is going to be.
Yes, you could say it's too early, but wait a minute. You're not practicing him on the right side at all. You have chosen not to practice him on the right side. This is your top pick. I doubt you drafted him this high to be a guard. So if your right tackle goes down and you're not giving him any reps at right tackle, then are you really putting your best right tackle out there? And that's the question that has to be asked, overall, because the other guys are not proven right tackles that are filling in behind Austin Jackson. Okay. It's not like Keon, and as much as I like Keon Smith or Heck, they're backups, they're rotational guys. They haven't proven anything yet. Whereas with Kaden Proctor, dude, that's a high pick there. That's a guy that should be playing tackle. So you're going to keep him at guard if something happens to Austin Jackson? That just doesn't make sense, dude.
Yeah. There's an aspect to the question of the overall plan for Kaden Proctor, more so than just the Austin Jackson implications if there's an injury. So that's more like bigger picture because, hey, you brought him in, you imagine with a plan. And I'm sure then their other counter would be that, well, we saw the rare combination of size and speed. We just want to get him in the building. Then we'll figure out the best five, as is commonly what coaches and football people want to say. We'll figure out the best five, once we do that. But at the same time, they have said it's important to keep him on the left side. So now, what's the statute of limitations on that aspect of it? Is that for just his rookie season? Is that for his entire Dolphins tenure? You want him on the left side? So, and I will say this because I mentioned it yesterday on a Dolphins Deep Dive with my colleague Chris Perkins, our Sun Sentinel podcast, is that Kaden Proctor is the one who this regime took in the first round and they want to keep him on the left side, and he's a left tackle in college. Patrick Paul is the second round tackle that they inherited from the previous regime. So think about that aspect too. When you think of who is this regime more tied to, I think this regime would want to also, because you have a good player in Patrick Paul as well, and it also has the rare combination of size and speed for alignment. Like these guys are all, not entirely similar because Patrick Paul is under 330. He's 326. But they're both 6'7". Kaden Proctor up at 352. So a little bit different specimens, but So I would think that they want him for the long term. And next year when his extension is up, or he's up for an extension, that they would want to keep him for long term. But they are more tied to Kaden Proctor as the foundational piece of this rebuild, that first draft pick, whereas Patrick Paul, they inherited.
No, and I get it. And look, Tunsil played guard his first year.
Yes.
You drafted him to be he never played guard again, is my point. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I would imagine that Kaden Proctor is only going to play guard this year. There's no way you drafted that kind of man with that ability to play guard, bro. No, there's no way. So and if the right tackle gets injured, which he often does, unfortunately, and hell, he's already started off injured, how is he not practicing already there? That's the part that I don't have. I cannot get through my thick skull. That's the part I can't get through. And
yeah, especially since, well, I mean, to a lot of us, of course, internally, they'll never say this, but to a lot of us, this season is a wash. This season is about getting through it, seeing what you have. So we want to view it with the idea of let's start seeing what you have for the future, which would be for Kaden Proctor, one of the tackle spots. If it's at left tackle, Patrick Paul, get him going at right tackle, all that. Where internally, like, they're going to try to put their best five to try and win early in the season.
Yeah,
you know. So I want to see if that changes.
Patrick Paul has not played last year the way he played. He was never a problem. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's hard to fix something that isn't broken. You know, that's also the problem I see coming too, that if there's any plan here to keep the guy on the left and then you're going to move the guy that's on the left to the right, that guy's not going to be happy with that, bro. He's just not, you know?
Right.
But by the way, you know, I forgot, what was Patrick Paul in college?
What was Patrick Paul? What, positionally?
Yeah.
Yeah, left tackle. I'm pretty sure.
That's my point. Mm-hmm. That's my point. If he was a left tackle, he's been a left tackle. And then the other guy's a left tackle. And then, you know, it's just somebody's got to play right tackle, dude. Somebody's going to have to play right tackle.
Right. I mean, and that's the point I'm making as far as who this regime is more tied to in keeping them at their natural position. The one who they drafted in the first round, like, is their own draft pick, or the one who they inherited, who has proven to be a very good player, but still they inherited him as a second rounder from the previous regime. I would think they're more inclined to keep their draft pick where he is. Now, that if Patrick Paul gets an extension next year, which I think they do, then now they are tied to both of them. It's not just an inherit, you know, like now they're very much tied to Devon Achane because they extended him. So, you know, Jordan Brooks, Aaron Brewer, as they're expected to be extended. Jordan Brooks actually said, I don't know, it could go either way on his extension, but you know, they will tie themselves to those players by extending them.
I'm with you. All right. Lamar Jackson. There have been people down here that want Lamar Jackson. There have been writers that have written about, you know, yeah, you should make a move for Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's got like an $80 million cap number or something like that, and he wants a new contract. I think whoever gives it to him is going to be an idiot because running quarterbacks do not age well, and he's already breaking down. But I talked about this, I think it was either last week or the week before, that this problem's coming. But now the beauty, at least for me, because I've never been a Lamar Jackson believer, great kid and all that, but I don't see him as a great passer in the end. I think Miami will never be part of that mix ever again, no matter what, because these guys, there's no way that they would trade for Lamar Jackson. One, the team is not even close to being ready for it in the next year or two, so that would not help out. And two, I think they want a guy that can work in the pocket and pass. That's not really who he is. He's more of a running quarterback than anything else. He's not a pocket passer. So just out of curiosity, this mess in Baltimore is going to get worse with him because he's got them by the balls because they've got this brutal cap number. And then they're talking about trading him. And then with the cap issues Miami has this year, and then next year they're still going to take a 50 to 60, $70 million cap hit anyways next year. I think that ship has sailed. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, timing wouldn't be right now for the Dolphins. I mean, if they were in some kind of contending window and you were a quarterback away, then yeah, I could see something like that. But not right now for these Dolphins in a rebuild, as they already invested in Malik Willis to be the quarterback for at least this season. He's still going to be rostered unless you take a cap hit next season, where only if he's really bad and you're picking at the top end of the draft, then will you be looking for another rookie franchise quarterback to have on a rookie contract for 4 or 5 seasons down the road. So it's kind of like it's Malik Willis now, and then if it's not Malik Willis for the future, I feel like it's one of the draft's next quarterbacks. If it's next season, if it takes you 2 years to figure it out, it's in the draft class after. So yeah, I don't see really unless it's like you miss on Willis, you miss in the draft, and then Lamar Jackson's, he's a lot older as a quarterback who depends on athleticism. So it's kind of like, yeah, I would be with you there, but I think that ship has sailed, honestly.
Yeah, no, I think it's actually done, and I'm glad, because I'd rather them build for the future. He's looking for the now. If he's going to go somewhere, he has to go somewhere where they are, like you just said, a quarterback away from getting it done. Don't forget, folks, Welt Rheaume, proud sponsors of our program, 954-966-4646. They've been with us every day of this platform. Next month will be 7 years. Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Reach out to them. The consultation is completely free. So if you suffer any damage to your home, your condo, your business, your car, don't call the insurance company. You call them first. They send their adjusters. They assess the damage, and then they attack the insurance company on your behalf. That's what it's all about. 954-966-4646. With free agency, still a lot of players out there. June 1st, they should get some money. Whether they extend any of the current guys that want some deals, or is there any chance, do you see them shopping out there trying to get some cheap veterans to add to somewhere that they may need some depth? Will June 1st make a difference anywhere on the roster for the people currently, or something extra on the side? Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, first and foremost, the 13 picks that they drafted, a lot of that post-June 1st money will go to signing the draft class. So they'll secure that. And then beyond that, I could see – I think they're working on the extensions for Jordan Brooks and Abram Brewer regardless. And then, even if you save some in the short term on extending those guys along with Achan, then – I think they will be looking for some of the remaining free agents to fill some holes, but it's pretty similar to what you saw in that first wave of free agency. It's those kind of contracts. It's going to be the minimum or near minimum, just a little bit more for some guys if they really want him and in the building, and that's what it takes. So it's not like they're going to be big spending. It's not like they're going to be solving all their problems with big free agent signings of guys that are remaining, because we would have seen that already. So they want to. It's going to be 1-year contracts near the minimum. Plug in some holes for whoever wants to come in here. Maybe some veterans who could be good locker room guys and could also just fill a position of need, provide depth. It'll be those kind of signings.
Yeah. All right. What do you got going on?
Yeah, just covering OTAs right now. It's everything on our website. We have stories on Malik Willis and his progress at this point, the offensive line, Patrick Paul, And what else did I write? There was a Wednesday story. I'm already forgetting. Devon Achane, the extension talk. Jordan Brooks and Aaron Brewer, if they're next. So got all those storylines all this week, and then just kind of open slate. We'll dive into next week, just seeing what pops up. I think we got to look into that Austin Jackson injury for sure.
Yeah, I think Brewer's the guy that gets the deal. I do, because you can keep him you can give him a 3-year deal, which is like a 2-year deal, and then that buys you time to draft a center to develop behind him next year or the year after. That's probably what I think you end up doing, because you want to protect your quarterback, bro, and you want to keep your center happy. You drafted 2 linebackers. You might make Brooks wait a little bit to find out what you got in the kid. I'm just saying. So the Zach Thomas thing may come to light again in another form and fashion with another Texas Tech linebacker. So I'm just saying it. You just never know. But I think Brewer's the guy out of the 2 that if I was putting my money on one of the 2 to get the contract, I would say it's Brewer, because he's the guy that you really cannot replace.
Yeah, and Brew in an interview that he gave Chris Perkins with us, talked to him at a charity event, and he said, hey, he's not really like worried about it. He has no anxiety over it, so he feels pretty confident. It seems that it's going to get done. He's not rushing it. He's not like in any hurry to get it done. He seems to feel like he knows it's going to happen. And then Brooks, it might have been telling when he said, I don't know, it could go either way. So now maybe that's kind of like a negotiating ploy, like, let people know, hey, I'm not happy with the number that they're giving me right now, and that's why we're going back to the negotiating table. Remember when Tua was going through his contract? Yeah, he was like, the market is the market, this and that. By the end of it, then he was saying, show me the money. So these contract talks can take every twist and turn, but
all kinds of dude, there's all kinds of linebackers on the team they drafted and they signed. I was
going to get to that because the Jacob Rodriguez pick, I see putting more Terrell Dotson in conflict, where now they could shake him down before the start of the season to take a restructured deal, take less money, especially if they're liking what they're seeing early on from Jacob Rodriguez, and he'll be the future Mike linebacker, green dot, communicating to the rest of the defense, which is what T-Dot does. And Jordan Brooks plays the will linebacker, and he doesn't have to go doing all the communicating. He just plays, and that's how he thrives. So that's more putting Terrell Dotson in conflict in the immediate future. Kyle Lewis, he's versatile, so could he be the future Jordan Brooks? Maybe, but he could also be like right now they have Willie Gay kind of like possibly playing that big nickel spot, that third linebacker. Could he be that guy who can also excel in coverage as like a former safety he's kind of like a tweener at linebacker safety. So there's different roles that these guys could play, but if you can keep Jordan Brooks on, then
one more guy. There's one more guy you're leaving out.
And let me see.
Wisconsin kid. The Wisconsin kid that was supposed to be an early 3rd day pick, dude.
Yeah, you're talking about Mason Rieger, the edge. Oh, well, he's more of an edge defender. I can see him playing like in that 4-3 defensive end type of role.
You think he's too big to play linebacker?
Yeah. What are they? Well, I mean, he's at 251, so kind of close, but
you got jets flying by, man.
I just had a jet flying very close, apparently.
Yeah, that sounded like a jet was flying by. Are you close to where the Air and Sea show is going to be or something?
Oh, wait, is that the? Because which one is it right now? It's but that's the Fort Lauderdale one.
No, I think it's the Miami Beach one this weekend.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not far, like across the bridge. So,
okay. So I'm wondering if somebody's flying around to test something.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That didn't sound like an airline jet.
No.
That sounded like a jet. You know what I'm saying?
I was worried for a second. I said, Big O, you might be capturing my last moments on this earth.
Yeah, unless did it look like an Iranian drone? That's what I want to know.
Oh man, yeah.
All right.
They got to spy on. They got to spy on this Dolphins talk.
That's what it is. That's what it is. We started talking about Mason, and then all of a sudden it got hairy. See what I'm saying? I don't know. He might be there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Follow him on Twitter at David Furones _. Catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Enjoy your long weekend, my brother. Be good out there.
Yes, sir. You too. Thank you.
You got it. All righty, there he is, the one and only David Furones.
This has been another session of the Welt Rheaume Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welt Rheaume, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welt Rheaume can help.